I like accidental or coincidental super teams. I don't like, super teams that are forced. When you're in the prime of your career, you can't say, hey, even though I went to Lakers, I want to go play with C-Webb. You can't do that.
And with
wrong.
that,
we didn't do it. The guys before us didn't do it.
Hey, we're back with more Open Court. When you look at the so-called super teams that have been constructed in the NBA, is that a good thing or a bad thing, Chris Webber?
Oh, man. Wow. It depends on what era. When Chuck, I wanted Chuck to win the championship. When he got with Clyde Drexler and Hakeem as a fan, I thought it was awesome. When Shaq, got with his guys, when K.
That wasn't a super team.
Yeah,
but it was
a
the
super
start,
old
though.
team.
The super old team.
Hey, Chris, between me, Clyde, and King, I almost passed out a couple times from being gay in the locker room.
No, but it's just a different league, Jay, and I think it's something that I'm getting adjusted to. Because when I played, it was like, I didn't want to play with a certain guy. I wanted to try to beat him or lose against him, and so I think it could be good for the NBA. But I think time is going to tell now that we've seen Miami, and it's good for certain teams, the Lakers. But I think it's hard to tell.
We grew up with super teams. I just think they weren't called that because the Boston Celtics with Bird.
But it was through drafts, though. It wasn't
through drafts.
Well, no.
Right.
Kevin McHale was a six-man draft.
No, Robert Parrish was a trade from Golden State.
Okay,
So,
but three guys didn't get together in the huddle and say, listen, call your agent, I'm going to call mine.
Exactly.
We all going to go together, and let's recruit our boy.
But there
We weren't
wasn't
playing
free
AAU the
agency.
game.
There wasn't
free
free agency
That was
back
free
then.
agency, man.
It was not like it was.
Yes.
There wasn't free
Kenny, come on,
agency
Kenny.
like it was.
Webb is
because you
100% correct.
No, you were
Nobody-
restricted
listen,
free agents.
the Lakers-
Your team had the right to sign you back, and nobody was going to match
Listen.
it. It was collusion under the table
Hey,
by the owners at
dude,
that time.
if you look
where
at,
we wouldn't take your
if
players.
you go back and look at the great,
The Lakers?
the Lakers made trades.
That was a super team.
Yeah, because they made good draft picks.
Okay, but time out. You don't remember Magic Johnson calling Bob McAdoo and saying, come play with us in the summer for less money?
That's different.
That's not different.
That
it's the
is
same
different.
thing.
But they
Come
already
play with us
had-
for
but
less
it's not
money.
three
Bob
guys.
McAdoo
It's
led the
different.
league
No,
in
but
scoring.
it's not
He was
LeBron,
coming off the bench.
D-Wade.
He
It's
led
not the best.
He was the MVP of the league at one time.
I
and
think
now
the-
he's coming off the bench for the Lakers like he's a scrub.
No,
Are you
at
kidding
the
me?
end of his career.
It doesn't matter.
we
It's
did
still
that
These
long.
guys who are trying to manipulate the system.
It's not manipulation.
Yes, it is.
No, I'm a free
Look, I will
agent.
say this: teams. Look, Orlando did not have to make the trade.
Exactly.
To the
They
Lakers.
made a super team.
Look, I'm going to get in
Memphis
trouble
didn't
for
have to
saying
give
this.
Pau Gasol to them.
The question is, are these super teams good or bad for the league? Look, I'm probably going to take heat for this. The commissioner, I'm sure, likes it because ratings are going through the roof. Now that you've got Dwight Howard teamed with Kobe and Powell, you've got LeBron James, you've got Carmelo Anthony in a big market, you got Derrick Rose in a big market. So it's good for ratings. Is it good for the league in a whole? No, I don't think so. Me playing 18 years in a small market, why doesn't Dwight Howard ever want to come to Indiana? It hurts the Milwaukee.
But you're the only superstar who actually played there.
But why? Look, it's not good for the league. What
No one ever's
what
done
makes the NFL great is Aaron Rodgers, the best player, is in Green Bay. When LeBron James was with Cleveland, how many times did TNT and ESPN go to Cleveland? They were a max-out team in a
that's
small
not
market.
their fault.
Being in
It's
a
not-
small market, Reggie.
It's not good as a whole for the smaller team markets.
But Oklahoma City made the NBA final last.
Through drafts,
drafts.
through
Yeah,
Sam
drafts.
Presti, through the draft,
Yeah.
they are a good team. Those guys didn't, as we're saying, collusion and getting together and say, let's all go to Oklahoma City and play.
I don't think anything wrong with guys being a free agent, serving their team, and when their contract is up, they decide where they want to go and play and what city they want to be in. I'd rather live in certain cities than live in
Let me ask you a
Cleveland
question.
or Indiana.
No,
That's not my choice.
But Kenny, I think what you're saying, the question is it bad for the league?
No, it's not. It's always been. When I
I
was
think
growing
it's
up,
bad
the
for the league.
Lakers or the Celtics were going to win. Nobody else had a chance.
Yeah, but they
but
did
Kenny-
it the right way, Kenny.
Why is that right? It's not right. It's
Kenny,
still a super
Kenny,
team.
I don't think. Listen, if,
Red Auerbach
like,
and
no,
those guys were
did
able to
anybody say
manipulate
anything
the
bad
system.
about Oklahoma City? We're gonna draft well. We don't.
Charles,
want-
it wasn't diluted either. We have 30 teams now.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but guys
And
never
is it a
got.
cop out for the
Hey,
players?
listen,
like, let's ask a real question. You know, is it a cop out for the players?
That's my
Is it a
point.
cop-out?
There's a lot of
What are you copping
prideful.
out?
There's a lot of prideful.
Because he stayed in Indiana 18
There's a
years,
lot of
every year,
prideful
you gonna
guys
have to go through it.
that are on this stage right here.
It's easy to jump.
Let me ask Shaq this. Would you have ever called Charles up and say, hey, come help me win a championship? I need you. That's basically what we're saying that
No,
these
but-
guys did.
okay, but-
all right?
but-
I would never have called Michael up and say, hey, can I come play with
Okay,
you?
but hold on. In the middle of his career, beginning of his career, no. At the end of his career, like I did Karl Malone, yes. You know,
And I have no problem with
Yeah,
that.
in the
Yes.
I get
I-
that.
I
End of
have
career,
no
yes.
problem. At the
Like
end
National
of the career.
at the beginning of the career, in the middle of the career, when I'm trying
wanted to beat
beat
his
him-
head in.
Exactly.
You wanted to go against the
Exactly.
best.
Make it
Okay,
first.
that's the
Exactly.
point.
What's
the difference?
Exactly.
These guys are in their prime, teaming up, and I would never. I wanted to beat Michael Jordan.
no,
I don't
but
want
I
to team
talk
with
about
them.
You know what the
I don't
difference
care the
is?
beginning, middle, or end.
It is a big difference. I'm gonna just tell you.
I'm gonna tell you what
The difference-
everybody,
the
y'all,
difference in
everyone
my
y'all
opinion,
did it.
though, just the difference between my opinion. You're talking to guys that had to lead their team and it was on their back. So when I was in Sacramento, it was me or it was going to play with Tim Duncan. I felt at that time, no, I want to play against him and I want to win it without him. Now, that's a hell of a gamble because you didn't win it.
Four championships you would have been walking around with.
That's right.
No
But
question.
That's right. But see, unlike you, it was my decision to say this is my team. And if I don't beat him, then the hell with it. But I made the decision. So I could have called and done that. And at times, when you get older, you may regret that. You may want a ring. I'm not saying it's great or it's honorable. All I'm saying is that I think you're looking at it from a different position.
No, I'm looking at it
was
from
in
a
the
different
other
perspective.
stages.
I'm saying that that's fine what you did, but it's also fine what they're doing because it's no difference. the prime of your what Charles is career, though. saying.
But we're talking about
What's
for
the
the
difference?
league.
But what's
It's
the
not
difference of Charles think in Bob the McAdoo prime of
was
his
at the prime of
career?
his career.
What's the difference him going? I don't want to play in Philly no more. What's
going,
the
Charles,
difference?
no,
There's
I
no
bet-
difference.
that's not
no.
the
Him
difference.
leaving.
But I
I don't want to play here no more. And then he gets to Phoenix with Kevin Johnson and the rest of them. Like, there's no difference of you saying you want to leave and be
But
traded.
who is them? Kevin Johnson was just an all-star.
But he didn't know
He
he was
wasn't.
in league.
That's what
But
I'm
he
saying. They didn't play with
he
Hall
was
of
still
Famers
the
in their
man
prime.
when he went to
He didn't
Phoenix.
want
We're talking about
Philly?
people. If we're talking about
but
we're talking about people that play with Hall of Fame.
It was like 7 teams trying to get me when I left Philly. I never said I want to go. I says I just need some help. I never said no. I want to go to Chicago or L.A.
You needed help. He got help. LeBron went and said, I'm going to get help.
No, he
Dwayne
didn't-
Wade's
no,
gonna
LeBron
provide
didn't
help.
It's
get
not the
help.
same.
LeBron went and
to
helped.
LeBron went to the, yeah, I mean,
LeBron went and helped. He didn't get help. He could have recruited people to
it
Cleveland.
just seems like what you're saying, too,
All right.
is that
I wouldn't have.
if you give a guy like the mailman a shot late in his career, his last chance, is a different thing than having the face of two franchises, Chris Bosh and LeBron James, call the face of the franchise or team up with the face of the franchise in Miami and say, guys, we're getting
After
together to play.
back-to-back
Yeah.
MVPs,
Yeah.
Ernie.
So,
and you leave home. You're the MVP. I said, I'm the MVP. I'm playing at home. I'm not leaving my home after I won back-to-back MVPs. You guys can come play with me. I'm leaving
And
my.
sometimes you got to buy a new house, man.
Yeah.
Like, look, I gave y'all 7, 8 years.
I look at this
When
question.
we weren't able to do it, sayonara. I put my service in. Y'all tried to do it. It didn't work. I like the way you did it. I'm not saying,
But I agree with you. I
go
want
with
you to know
your.
that.
I'm more like
Could
your
LeBron
Claw.
have gotten Chris
I'm more
Bosh
like
to
that.
come to Cleveland?
No, he's not gonna come to
Really?
Cleveland. No, he's not coming.
Come on. He could have got Bosh to go to Cleveland.
Let me pose this question. He couldn't get anybody there in 7
Jenny,
years.
Jenny.
Come on, man.
In this era, though, if you're LeBron and D. Wade, don't you agree that it's similar type of players? Yes. You'd have never done it.
Exactly.
In the
Not in the same position.
Big-
I'm not
Go get
saying
another
I'm not
point
from
guard.
that cloth, but I
know,
understand what they did. There's nothing wrong with
I
it.
understand.
No
what
one
you're
says
saying.
nothing wrong with it.
You
We
know
say
it.
it's good
Please.
for
Leave Kirk.
athlete.
No.
I want to go back to the original question. We got a little sidetracked here.
Yes.
Are the super teams good for the NBA? I say absolutely, because ratings are off the charts. When the best thing that happened to the NBA in the last 5 years is LeBron going to Miami. But every single talk show host, every radio show, that's all they talk about. Ratings have skyrocketed, which means sponsorship money goes up, which means, you know, the TV packages for the league are all of a sudden more lucrative. The Lakers and the Celtics and the Bulls in the 80s and early 90s, best thing that happened to the NBA. Is it fair to Indiana? No. Is it fair to Milwaukee? No, they're at a huge disadvantage. But the reality is the NBA is not the NFL. You can't have great NBA teams
Why
popping
not?
up because there's only about 10 guys in the whole league who make a difference.
First of all, Steve,
Don't tell the
let me
fans.
hold on for a second. First of all, you're wrong. Let me tell you why. The Pistons won 2 championships. The Rockets won 2. The Spurs won 4. The Bulls won 6. The Celtics won a lot. The Lakers won a lot. So it ain't like it's been one or two teams winning. There's been plenty of teams. Think about that. All those teams, San Antonio, small market. Detroit's not a huge market.
I didn't say anything about small market.
No, but I'm just saying, like, those teams, like, we just going to draft or make good
And
trades.
I totally agree with you on that.
But
San Antonio had David Robinson and Tim Duncan.
Yes.
Detroit had Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas.
Uh-huh.
So it can happen in Oklahoma City. It can happen in San Antonio. My point is, it's not the NFL where a team that's in last place can all of a sudden win the Super Bowl the next year. In the NBA, there's about 10 players in the league that are good enough to transcend everybody and make their team a championship contender. There's only 10.
But they all want to play with one another.
And that's their right. They're free agents.
So that means you're going to have, out of 10
5,
guys,
7 years,
but out
whatever.
of 10 guys, that's 3 or 4 teams.
Okay, your
So
year,
what happens to the other
no, but
26?
your year when you went to the NBA Finals, how many teams had a realistic chance of winning the NBA championship? 5 or 6. It's going to be 5 or 6 no matter what. And then you're going to have to grow in the draft like Oklahoma did. And there's going to be teams that come up. In our era, the Milwaukee Bucks were one of those teams. But you have to. It's only every year going to be 4 or 5 teams that realistically have a
Yeah, it
chance.
was a lot more.
Regardless if you
And
put
they
a
might be
superpower
small
together.
market teams. They might be big market teams.
But not if you
However
start
they
putting
get there,
super teams together.
Ernie,
Yes,
Yeah,
last
no,
last word in this segment.
I like accidental or coincidental super teams. I don't like, super teams that are forced. When you're in the prime of your career, you can't say, hey, even though I went to Lakers, I want to go play with C-Webb. You can't do that.
And with
Wrong. We didn't do it. The guys before us didn't do it. All the super teams that you guys are talking about were accidental or coincidental through drafts and through trades.
Bad management. I'm not waiting on that.
Not forced.
If I was
Not
superstar,
forced.
I'm going to get mine.
And with that,
You're a greedy player, man.
that doesn't surprise me. And with that, we go to break. More open court.
All about yours.
Right around the bend.
I'm going to get 11 other guys theirs, too.